What's going on, everybody? It's me, the man, the myth, the guy with glasses. Guys, I'm Bob Phillips, and today we're doing ourselves another first-time movie reaction video because The Avengers was really fun. But before we get into that, I want to share a little backstory. Today I was driving in my car and I took a wrong turn onto a side street, and before I had an opportunity to make a U-turn and correct my course, I passed a house with a table in its front yard, and it had a bunch of DVDs on it and a sign read free DVDs. So I could not pass that opportunity by. I ended up taking so many movies. Now, most of the movies that I took were films that I actually really like and that I've already seen before, but there were some that I've never seen, and then there was one that I really wanted to see for a long time, and that's the movie we're doing today. Guys, the movie is Oliver Stone's JFK. Now, I know, another backstory to the backstory. I'm a massive fan of Oliver Stone, and I think it's fair to say that JFK is most likely his most iconic or popular movie, depending on who you ask. Now, I haven't seen the vast majority of Stone's work. I've seen Wall Street, Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, but those were enough to cement him as one of my favorite filmmakers. Not only is he a great writer, he's a great director and producer, I just think he's one of the best. And now I'm gonna have an opportunity to watch JFK. And if you're into conspiracy theories or like really crazy convoluted plot lines and stuff, Oliver Stone is your guy, and this is the go-to movie. I've been looking forward to this for a really long time, and I'm really excited to say I'm finally going to be able to watch it. So, without any further ado, this is JFK First Time Reaction. Let's do this. All right, here we go. I'm excited already.
January 1961, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's farewell address to the nation.
Is that Martin
Vice
Sheen?
President Richard Nixon by a little more than 100,000 votes.
I hope that's Martin Sheen.
Kennedy is the symbol of the new freedom of the 1960s, signifying change and upheaval to the American public. In October 1962, the world comes to the brink of nuclear war when Kennedy quarantines Cuba.
They're gonna kill Kennedy.
Oh boy, here it is. The iconic footage. Here it comes. I think that was more powerful than actually showing him get shot, that cutaway. That might be cheesy by today's standards, but I think that was really powerful. That was incredible.
Boss, the president's been shot.
Oh, no.
Apparently, 3 bullets were found. Governor Connolly also appeared to have been hit.
Apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard.
They always say in huge events, huge national or world events, everyone's always like, where were you when Kennedy got shot? Where were you when the Challenger exploded? I couldn't imagine anything like this happening today.
He did so much for this country, for colored people.
God, I'm ashamed to be an American today.
There's always that one asshole who's just gonna clap and be a douche.
It does say, Chief, the president was shot.
I don't see anybody crying for all those thousands of Cubans.
Dallas police have just announced that they have a suspect. Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested by more than a dozen police officers after...
I don't know what I am charged with, but I emphatically...
Sirius Black, aka Gary Oldman.
Looking through my files, haven't you?
You're starting to get paranoid. You really are.
Oh. You just your goddamn thing. You hear me, you little weasel? You just your goddamn thing.
He seems pretty cool to me for a man under pressure like that.
A. Heidel, post office box in March.
Is that? I mean, I just saw Newman from Seinfeld.
Jesus Christ, anybody can get a rifle in Texas.
As far as Oswald,
Newman. He was also in Born on the 4th of July. I forget the guy's name. I know his name. It's gonna drive me crazy, but Newman from Seinfeld. Wayne Knight. That's his name. Wayne Knight.
Newman, turn it up.
His name's Newman in this too. Oh my God.
Is there anything you want to say in your defense?
it's like somebody just saved a Dallas DA a pile away.
Let's get David Ferry in here anyway.
The major subject was Vietnam, a crisis that does not pause for bereavement. The United States would continue its policy of aiding the new government of Vietnam in its war against the communists.
I could see where they're going with this.
Come on in, Dave.
Is that Joe Pesci?
You remember me, Mr. Garrison? I met you on Carondelet Street right after your election. I congratulate you.
Ah, Joe Pesci with a southern accent. Joe Pesci!
I never met anybody named Oswald. Anybody told you that has to be crazy.
Well, that must have been mistaken information we got then.
He's lying. He's fidgeting like he's lying.
I'm sorry that this has to end inconveniently for you, but I'm going to have to detain you for further questioning by the FBI. Dave, I find your story simply not believable.
Gentlemen, this afternoon, the FBI released David W. Ferry of New Orleans. After extensive questioning, the Bureau found no evidence that Mr. Ferry knew Lee Harvey Oswald.
President Johnson has announced the creation of a blue-ribbon presidential commission. The commission will be headed by Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, Earl Warren, and is expected to head off several congressional and Texas inquiries into the assassination.
I thought the FBI testified the rifle to see if it could be done.
Sure, 3 experts, and not one of them could do it, telling us that Oswald got off 3 shots with world-class precision, a manual bolt-action rifle in less than 6 seconds. Then they got that crazy bullet zigzagging all over the place, so it hit Kennedy and Connolly 7 times. I think Oswald's a good old-fashioned decoy. What'd he say? I'm just a patsy.
That was interesting. Something so simple, so small to get the audience captivated. That's how you hook them.
Police captain with 30 years experience in a crowd of federal agents just had to know that with no record, anything Oswald says is going to be inadmissible in court.
Well, honey, why don't we talk about it at the dinner table? It's getting cold.
The alleged murder of the president.
All right, so I'm gonna make a prediction. I have a feeling that this is gonna be one of those movies, kind of like the Zodiac, where it's like the main character's so invested in figuring out the case, like I want to solve it so much that he's gonna alienate his family, and then his wife's gonna be all like, "Oh my God, we're losing you." I don't know, but I feel like it's gonna be done to greater effect. So far, I'm loving this movie.
Come around here. I want to show you something. See that? 544 Camp Street, 531 Lafayette Street. Same building, right? But with different addresses and different entrances. Both going to the same place. Guess who used this address? Lee Harvey Oswald.
All of the clues are coming together.
Wait, what would you say if I told you Lee Oswald was trained in the Russian language when he was a Marine?
Probably getting intelligence training.
Who'd be running that training?
Office of Naval Intelligence.
Take a look across the street. Upstairs in 1963, that was the Office of Naval Intelligence.
I'm so close to solving this crime, I can almost taste it.
Lou, we are standing in the heart of the United States government's intelligence community. That's the FBI there, all right? That's the CIA. That's the Secret Service. Doesn't this seem to you a rather strange place for a communist to spend his spare time? You're not under cross-examination here, Jack. What I need is a little clarification about the night Guy Bannister beat you over the head. You told me you and Guy were good friends for a long time.
More than 10 years.
And he never hit you before.
No, it never touched me.
Yet on November 22nd, 1963, the day of the president's murder, he pistol-whipped you with a .357 Magnum.
It was a nut house. Oh, Cubans come and go. They all look the same to me.
It's Joe Pesci! He's leading the Cubans!
They call it Operation Mongoose.
Oh my. We're in deep. We're getting in deep.
They were stockpiling arms, explosives.
All this right under
Oh
the
my
nose
God.
of the intelligence community in Lafayette Square?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Was anyone else involved at Bannister's level?
I saw him come in the office once, and he looked out of place. Clay something. Yeah, that was his name. Clay. Bertrand. Yeah,
Clay Bertrand?
yeah, that was.
Clay Bertrand.
Well, I don't know.
He was in the Warren report. He got Oswald a lawyer. When did you first do business with this Bertrand?
Pipe the bimbo in red.
Yeah, she's cute, all right, but not half as cute.
John Candy? Oh my God. This is an all-star cast. It's like a Home Alone family reunion. All we need is Macaulay Culkin and the guy who played Marv, Daniel Stern.
Truth is, I never met the dude. Bertrand called that summer and asked me to help the kid upgrade his Marine discharge. How the fuck all those people could keep a secret?
John Candy just said fuck. That's monumental. He just said fuck.
Is this off the record, Daddy-O? In that case, let me sum it up for you real quick. If I give you the name of the big enchilada, you know, then it's Bon Voyage Dino. I mean like permanent. I mean like a bullet in my head, you dig? Kennedy's as dead as that crab meat. The government's still breathing. You want to line up with a dead man? You have any idea what you're getting yourself into, Daddy-O?
Hey, Willie! Oh, Keith! Now, you hear me, boy? Yeah. How you doing, Mr. Bruce?
Kevin Bacon?
I want to thank you, Mr. O'Keefe, for this time. Clay Bertrand, Willie.
Yeah, Clay. I met him sometime in June of '62. Dave Ferry took me there.
Sexual purposes.
Well, yeah. $20 each time. Hell, ain't no secret. That's what I'm in here for.
That's where you met Oswald for the first time.
Yeah, strange guy.
Fucking little ass wife closed down the camps. Took 10,000 fucking rounds, 3,000 pounds of gunpowder, all our fucking weapons. You want to free Cuba? You gotta whack out the fucking beer. Dozens of fucking poison, just stick it in his food. He'd die in 3 days. Right in the White House. I'll stab him right in his fucking heart.
You realize the things you're saying, Willie, are going to be attacked by a lot of different people. But I need to know is why, all right? Why are you telling us this?
People got to know. People got to know why he was killed.
Why don't we go right to the horse's mouth, Chief? Jack Ruby's been rotting away in a Dallas jail cell for 3 years.
Can't do it, Bill. If we go to him, our investigation will hit the front pages by sunrise.
What are we saying here?
We're saying that when Oswald went to Russia, he was not a real defector. That he was an intelligence agent on some kind of mission for our government and remained one until the day he died.
Therefore, because Oswald pulled the trigger, the intelligence community murdered their own commander-in-chief.
Maybe Oswald didn't even pull the trigger.
He had his palm print on the weapon.
Well, it went to the FBI, Bill. FBI didn't find a goddamn thing. For all we know, it could have been taken off Oswald in the morgue.
We're talking about our government here.
No, we're talking about a crime, Bill. Pure and simple. Just maybe Oswald is exactly what he said he was. A patsy.
Jack introduced me to these two guys. He says, Beverly, I'd like you to meet my friend Lee. I don't remember the other guy's name.
Will you testify, Beverly?
I don't think so. I don't want to become another statistic
We
like
could call you in, Beverly. We could call you in.
If they can kill the President of the United States, do you think they're going to think twice about a two-bit showgirl like me?
I understand the pressure you're under, Beverly.
Mr. Chief Justice, you understand that I cannot tell the truth here? There are people here who do not want me to tell the truth.
Mr. Ruby, I don't see why you don't just tell us now.
My life is in danger.
There would be no safe place for you. We're not law enforcement officers.
See, if I am eliminated, there won't be any way of knowing any bit of the truth pertaining to my situation.
The Zapruder film establishes 3 shots in 5.6 seconds. Time me.
Go.
Time?
Between 6, 7 seconds.
So you take this Carcano, world's worst shoulder weapon. No way. The FBI tried 2 sets of tests. Not one of their sharpshooters could match Oswald's performance.
Why should they talk to you? I told your uncle I never met a lawman who wasn't a punk. Big shot businessman. I seen him on the TV newsletter with all the other big shots. The guy's a fag, you know. Goes by another name.
What's the other name?
Clay Shaw.
Clay Bertrand is Clay Shaw.
I even have doubts about this photo. This pretty much convicted Oswald in the public's mind, but Oswald told Captain Fritz that the photo was fake.
It's not me. I never saw this picture. That is my face, but my face has been superimposed. The picture was made by someone else.
I took this picture to 2 experts.
Ooh. Checkmate. Photo. Doctor.
I found Clay Bertrand. Clay Bertrand is Clay Shaw.
Can you get some sworn statements?
Now, that's gonna be tough. Nobody is talking.
Besides, I told you I'm talking to Clay Shaw this morning.
Honey, we're going to Antoine's with the kids like we do every year.
No, I told you I was talking to Shaw.
Well, why in the world did you do it in the middle of Easter Sunday?
Clay Shaw is important.
We're not.
I didn't say that, Liv.
The kids are missing out, too. You're not the only one making sacrifices.
And I'll be there by 2, I promise.
I totally knew it. I totally knew the guy was gonna alienate his family with this investigation. Here it is.
Mr. Garrison, what can I do for you on Easter Sunday?
Well, in an investigation we're conducting, your name has come up a number of times.
I wouldn't imagine where.
And Mr. O'Keefe told us he met you at the Masquerade Bar down in the quarter.
Of course not. I don't know this man. Where's all this leading to, Mr. Garrison?
After dinner, you paid him to have sex.
It's so weird seeing Tommy Lee Jones portray a gay guy.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
David Ferry.
No, I don't believe I know anyone by that name.
Mr. Shaw, can you identify this man?
Naturally. Are you claiming, Mr. Garrison, that Mr. Oswald also had dinner with...
You ever met Lee Harvey Oswald?
Of course not. I'm an international businessman. I trade everywhere.
Mr. Shaw, have you ever been a contract agent for the Central Intelligence Agency?
And if I were, Mr. Garrison, do you believe I would be here today talking to somebody like you? Mr. Garrison, I am a patriot, first and foremost.
I've spent half my life in the United States military. And you're the first person I ever met who considered an act of patriotism to murder his own president.
Now, just a minute, sir. You are way out of line.
Thank you for your honesty and for coming in today.
I enjoyed meeting with you, gentlemen.
I think you care more about John Kennedy than your own family.
I called it.
You know who killed President Kennedy? There's a conspiracy here in New Orleans.
That guy probably went to the press.
Shaw must have gotten him on our tail.
They might as well talk to Ruby now.
Yeah. Did your office plant that garbage in a fucking paper?
Who's this?
You know exactly who the fuck this is.
Dave?
Yeah, you got it. Somebody tipped off the press. I'm one of fucking Garrison's suspects.
Meet me in the lobby, the Fontainebleau, in 20 minutes.
Who are you scared of, Dave?
Me? Everybody. Agency, mob, Cubans. That's it. Follow the Cubans. Check them out. Agency place for keeps. I knew Oswald. He was in my Civil Air Patrol unit. I taught him everything.
Did you ever work for the CIA?
Shaw's an untouchable. Highest clearance.
You just talk to us on the record. We'll protect you. I guarantee it.
They're untouchable, man.
David Ferry's dead.
Uh-oh, spaghetti.
I don't see any violence, Jim. Heart attack, maybe an aneurysm.
Garrison, glad you came.
Well, I just hope it was worth my while, Mr.
Oh my God!
I could give you a false name.
Donald
but I won't.
Sutherland.
Just call me X. I assume if you've come this far, what I have to say interests you. Everything I'm going to tell you is classified top secret. I was one of those secret guys in the Pentagon that supplies the military hardware for what we call black operations. Black Ops. We were in Vietnam in '54, Indonesia '58, Tibet '59. Got the Dalai Lama out, working on the Kennedy plan for getting all U.S. personnel out of Vietnam by the end of 1965. You would have felt an Army presence in the streets that day. It was a violation of the most basic protection codes we have, and it is the best indication of a massive plot in Dallas. Vietnam started for real. There was an era of make-believe in the Pentagon and CIA.
I never realized Kennedy was so dangerous to the establishment.
This basically ended the reign of the CIA. Mongoose was pure black ops.
At the risk of sounding really stupid or like really immature, this heavily reminds me of Call of Duty Black Ops, one of my favorite video games. It's got the same feel to it.
And Kennedy wanted to end the Cold War in his second term, but all of that ended on the 22nd of November, 1963.
Mr. Shaw, sir, you are under arrest. Charged with conspiracy and entering into an agreement with other persons for the specific purpose of committing the crime of murder of President John F. Kennedy.
Name, first, middle, and last?
Clay Laverne Shaw.
Ever use any aliases?
Shaw.
Clay Bertrand.
Without them, it's going to be near impossible, Chief, to prove Shaw's connection to the CIA.
I think we can raise a possibility that Oswald not only was an informant, but that he may well have been the original source we have for the telex.
I don't buy it, Chief. Why would the FBI cover it up?
There's a word, Bill. Orders.
Maybe I got just a little bit more respect for this country's institutions. You tell me how the hell you gonna keep a conspiracy going on between the mob, the CIA, and Army intelligence, and who the hell knows what else? We should be investigating our mafia leads here in New Orleans. Ruby is all mob, knows Oswald, sets him up.
I don't doubt their involvement, Bill, but at a lower level. Mob wouldn't have the guts or the power for something of this magnitude.
Oh, okay, so now you're saying Lyndon Johnson was involved?
If I'm so far from the truth, why is the FBI bugging our offices?
And I, for one, am not going along on this one.
Talk about hostile work environment.
Well, we need him back.
I don't trust the
I will not hear this, gentlemen. Now, I value Bill as much as any person here.
I've seen him copying files, leaving here late at night.
I just plain don't trust
Maybe
him.
you two didn't hear what I said.
I cannot work with Bill Broussard anymore.
Are you giving me an ultimatum?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, I will not have any damn ultimatums put to me, Lou. I'll accept your resignation.
I think his whole staff is not going to trust him anymore after that.
Phil, what the hell are you doing here?
I'm sorry about the other day, Chief.
Bill, you came all the way to tell me the obvious?
No, boss, look. I just got word there's gonna be an attempt to kill you. This is serious, Chief. Boss, I'm sorry. I'm just looking out for you.
Oh, I knew he was set up. I knew he was set up. I think he's set up. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He set him up. I knew it. I had that feeling. Oh, dear. Is he gonna rape him or something? What the fuck?
Come on, let's out here.
Jim, where you going?
What the hell?
Hey, how long were you in that restaurant?
None of your goddamn business.
Oh, they're trying to set him up for being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Oh! He set him up! They're trying to discredit him for being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
That was intense. I thought that was gonna be an assassination, but they tried setting him up for being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Jim, bad news. Bill's turned. I think he's given everything we got to the feds.
I knew it! Here we go. The trial. That's what we've been waiting for the entire time.
Please be seated. That's Clay Bertrand. That's the man I saw at David Ferris.
That's who you say you saw. A confessed homosexual.
That was the man right there. He dropped Oswald off on the voters line.
You got the right ta-ta, but the wrong ho-ho. Bertrand is not Shaw. Scout's honor.
Your Honor, we call police officer Aloysius Haberhorst to the stand.
Name, first, middle, and last?
Clay Laverne Shaw.
The defendant did not have his lawyer present when asked.
It's been standing booking procedure to ask an alien.
I call him as I see him.
Ever use any aliases?
Shaw.
Clay Bertrand.
No constitutional requirement that says a lawyer has to be
ruling
present
it
for routine
inadmissible.
questions.
Hell, that's our case.
And have you ever met David Ferry?
No.
Did you ever use the alias Clay Bertrand?
No.
I
did not.
Liar.
We must look at the Zapruder film, which my office has subpoenaed. Picture speaks 1,000 words, doesn't it?
What kind of video? Speak then.
The Warren Commission thought they had an open and shut case. The time frame 5.6 seconds established by the Zapruder film left no possibility of a full shot. That leaves just 2 bullets. And we know one of them was the fatal headshot that killed Kennedy. So now a single bullet remains. A single bullet now has to account for the remaining 7 wounds in Kennedy and Connally. The Warren Commission chose to endorse the theory put forth, one of the grossest lies ever forced on the American people, the magic bullet theory. Enters the president's back, headed downward at an angle of 17 degrees. It then moves upward.
Oh my God! There is an episode of Seinfeld where Keith Hernandez spit on Kramer and Newman, and Jerry Seinfeld's like, here, Newman, stand right here. Kramer, stand right here so I could recreate it. And then they mimicked, or not mimicked, they mocked or like parodied JFK with the actor Wayne Knight who plays Newman in Seinfeld, and the guy, I mean, his name's apparently Numa, I was mistaken. They're gonna do that right now. That's why because I'm a huge Seinfeld fan, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but that was why I had that little meltdown.
Body from the front of his neck, wound number 2, where it waits 1.6 seconds, presumably in midair, where it turns right and continues into Connally's body at the rear of his right armpit.
That is one magic loogie.
The bullet then exits Connally's wrist, wound number 6, makes a dramatic U-turn from which it later falls out and is found in almost pristine condition. Never in the history of gunfire has there been a bullet this ridiculous. The Army wound ballistics expert filed some comparison bullets. Not one of them looked anything like this. This single bullet explanation is the foundation of the Warren Commission's claim of a lone assassin. The magic bullet could not create all 7 of those wounds? By definition, there had to be a conspiracy. There are hundreds of documents that could help prove this conspiracy. Why are they being withheld or burned by the government? The answer from on high has always been national security. What kind of national security do we have when we've been robbed of our leaders? I submit to you that what took place on November 22nd, 1963, was a coup d'etat. Kennedy was murdered by a conspiracy that was planned in advance at the highest levels of our government. Among them, Clay Shaw here before you. You have a lot to think about. You've seen much hidden evidence the American public has never seen. Because if the truth does not endure,
he's really impassioned and he's about to cry. This is incredible.
You, the people, the jury system sitting in judgment on Clay Shaw, that's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's up to you.
Oh my God, he's looking at me. He just broke the 4th wall. Oh my God, that was so powerful. Loud and clear, Oliver Stone. I got the message. Wow.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Please hand the verdict to the clerk.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Clay Shaw,
not guilty.
Not guilty.
Mr. Garrison, are you going to resign?
Hell no. I'm going to run again. And I will continue this investigation for 30 years. I owe that not only to Jack Kennedy, but to the country.
Dedicated to the young in whose spirit the search for truth marches on. What a film. What a film. All right, my friends, I gave myself some time to really think about what I wanted to say on behalf of the film at the end of the video. And first things first, I want to say that this was a fantastic film and I had an amazing time watching it. Not only was it really captivating, it's one of those films that honestly, you go into it thinking like, okay, well, this is going to be so predictable, and it wasn't. It had me on the edge of my seat, literally and figuratively, for a vast majority of the time. It was a fantastic movie. It was a fantastic movie. There were certain things that I disliked. Honestly, I mean, as much as I really liked Oliver Stone's use of the archival footage. I mean, he did use real archival footage, but like the technique to make it seem like the flashbacks or scenes that weren't actually a part of the time period to look like black and white or that grainy film. That was really cool at first. I liked that, but after a while, it kind of seemed like he used it too much and it was like, all right, it's getting old. That was a bit overdone. However, it still was used to great effect. There were also certain scenes that I feel like it dragged on a little too much, where it's like they hammered their point home a little too much, where it reminded me of My Cousin Vinny, where it's like, okay, I think you made your point, Mr. Gambini. Are you sure about those 5 minutes? Kind of a thing. Some things could have been wrapped up easier, quicker for time constraints, and they still made the same point. However, this was the director's cut, so I can't really say anything much about that. Performances. The performances in this movie were very amazing, especially Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner came a long way from his movie The Untouchables. Like, as much as I love the movie The Untouchables, it's undeniable that his performance was pretty weak and he wasn't very dramatic, as opposed to this film. Like, he really stepped it up a notch, and I thought it was fantastic. Furthermore, I thought the cast was amazing. It was a star-studded cast, an all-star cast. I was blown away at the fact that they had so many big actors, so many huge superstars. I didn't even see them in the opening credits, like Joe Pesci or John Candy. Like, that was shocking, surprising, very well done. I like the music by John Williams. I like the cinematography, the editing, and I think it won those Academy Awards for cinematography and editing. And I could totally see why it's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, one of Oliver Stone's greatest movies, and I totally agree with the fact that it was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. However, I do want to say I still think Silence of the Lambs is the better of the two films, considering that Silence of the Lambs did beat this for Best Picture and all those other awards. But I had a great time with this movie, and there's just one thing that it is worth mentioning, worth note. Like, the only performance in this movie that was nominated for an Oscar was Tommy Lee Jones, and he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. That to me kind of seems weird. It's not like he did a bad job, but he didn't do a standout job. Like, he didn't stand out amongst the cast. His performance wasn't anything great or exceptional or extraordinary. That's kind of weird, but honestly, in the end, I had a really, really good time with this movie. I think it's a fantastic film. It just further bolsters Oliver Stone, or further like cements him as one of my favorite filmmakers. Well, guys, that's about it. That is my first time watching JFK. I hope you had a great time, because I certainly did. I hope you liked this video. Now do me a favor, hit the like button, smash the subscribe, and leave a nice comment below on what movie you want to see me react to next. And also, I should have done this in the beginning of the video. Check me out on Instagram on Bob Phillips Official. I'll have that linked in the description below, and I'll see you next time. Schwam.